The difference between successful and non-successful players in Waterpolo is simply that those ones that succeeded on a daily basis did what they needed to do, not what they wanted to do. And that is the explanation of the success in Waterpolo in the simplest words. So what you want to do as a younger player is to develop the good habits that will put you on a path to success in Waterpolo. In today's audio program, we are going to be going over the habits of the most successful players in this sport. The first habit that I want to speak about is preparation for the practice. Every player who eventually became successful, they had simple routine that they did before every single practice, so they could prepare for it. In a way, to prepare in a physical way and a psychological way. In a physical way, you need a warm-up, just not to get injured, and to prepare your body for the tiredness that you will be experiencing. And in the psychological way is focus. So simply the players knew how to find focus in every single practice. The next part is introspection. Every player had a realistic picture of themselves, how they are and how they are behaving in the water and outside of the water. And what really helps in this is understanding your mistakes, because you cannot get better just if you speak about the positives of your game. So in case that you don't know your negative parts, you cannot improve. That's why it's really important to understand what are your weak parts as a player. And what really helps in this is watching your own video. By just following your feeling and following your guts and seeing just what's happening in the game, it's not going to be enough. You need to actually see yourself playing in the pool. And how to do that is to watch your own video. And when you're watching your own video, you're going to understand way better how you look from outside and where are your mistakes. First of all, spacing is something that you cannot see while you're playing because there is a lot of distraction. And once you look at it in your own video, you're going to be able to see that maybe you did the right thing, but you were simply positioned wrong. And this is something that cannot be changed with anything else other than watching your own games. So that is the next part that is really helping you in the introspection process and understanding where you're making mistakes mostly. The next part is communication. The best players are communicating the most effectively. While you're playing the real game or while you're at practice, you need to communicate with your teammates and with your coach. If you don't communicate, you cannot play. Because a lack of communication will lead to a lot of misunderstandings, which eventually will accumulate so much that you're not going to be able to play anymore. And you will be finding that as a fault of someone else, not yourself. That's why from the younger age, we need to understand that communication is the key for success in Waterpolo. I'm not going to be focusing on the details of the communication, but you simply need to know how to express yourself in the game and in the practice to your teammates and to the coach. There are different videos which are going more in detail about this, but I want to just cover this as one more major part of being a successful in Waterpolo. The next part is discipline. There was never an athlete who was successful and that athlete didn't have discipline. It has never happened in the history of any sport, not just Waterpolo. So discipline is something that you cannot change with anything. If your motivation is on a high level, it will take you only that far. Discipline is something that will take you towards the actual goal that you have. So knowing what you need to do and doing it on a daily basis is what is called consistency and discipline, and you need that in order to be a good athlete. Lastly, you need to understand your goal. You've for sure heard the expression, you cannot hit the target that you can't see, and it's true. If you don't know what you want to become as a Waterpolo player, you will never become that. It's that simple. So you need to clearly explain to yourself and describe what you want to achieve and when you want it to happen. And in that case, you will actually understand when you achieve that goal, because it will be measurable. You will understand once you became that you made it your goal. So, for example, you want to be a Division 1 athlete, and since you are 12 years old, you need to understand, and you will understand, what you need to do in order to become a Division 1 athlete, and you will do that on a daily basis, and by following those habits that we discussed before, you will be able to achieve that goal, and once you achieve it, you will know that you made it. On the other side, if you don't understand what you want to become and what you want to be, you will never be able to achieve it, because you don't know what is it. So to conclude, we have 5 habits that are separating successful and not successful Waterpolo athletes. The first one is preparation for the game and for the practice. The second, introspection, understanding yourself as a player and where are your negative parts that you can improve. The third part is communication. We need to communicate effectively to our teammates and to our coach. The fourth part is discipline or consistency. We need to know what we need to do on a daily basis, and we need to do it every single day in the duration of our Waterpolo career. And the last part is we need to understand our goal, what we actually want to achieve and what kind of a player we want to become. By following those 5 habits, you will put yourself in a different direction. And I like the expression that you can't change the destination overnight, but you can change the direction. Every time when you want to make some kind of the Waterpolo decision, just think, does it take me towards the direction to the goal that I want to achieve, or it doesn't? And in that case, it will be simple for you to decide wherever you have the second thoughts.